with you because you're in for a real treat here, folks. Now, at the top of the hour here, I just want to just really make you feel welcome here. Crowd Rising is a very unique member-to-member portal, and it's not a business, not a company, and it's very unique in a sense. And every sense of the word is unique about Crowd Rising. I mean, our traffic is going through the roof. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're going to have some special announcements here that we're going to share with you and get some feedback from you folks. Some of the things that you're going to hear tonight are going to surprise you, maybe shock you, maybe excite you, motivate you. But hey, great news nevertheless. So we are absolutely thrilled you took the time out. Any guests here today on the webinar at all? We always like to go through a nice little presentation for our guests, and I always really appreciate it when the guests identify themselves. So if you're a guest in the room here looking at Crowd Rising, maybe for the very first time, or a brand new Crowd Rising participant, just checking us out, maybe just identify yourself, right? Guest in the chat box there, or new or first time, just so that we can say a special hello to you. And so the person that invited you can potentially identify you and make contact with you immediately following the webinar presentation. So, all right, Tom says yes. So welcome, Tom. It's great to have you with us, Tom. Really appreciate that. So always exciting to see a brand new person come in and just sort of check out Crowd Rising and see if it's for them. So really, really wonderful. So yeah, Wayne, just keep trying. If you get logged out there, just refresh. I don't know why you'd be logging out. Maybe your internet is disrupting, but hey, again, welcome everyone. I want to get started here with a few quick announcements here at the top of the hour, just before we get into a little presentation, some housekeeping notes that we want to talk about. Very first one that I want to talk about is we've had a lot of feedback from the leaders within Crowd Rising to add some additional levels to Crowd Rising, because obviously we have participants that are already maxed out in the in our program, and that's kind of exciting, really, when you think about it. We launched May 2nd officially. So here we are, literally 32, 33 days into the official launch of Crowd Rising, and we have participants on stage 10 already, and they say, okay, now what? We've made it to stage 10. What's the next one we can go for? Now, the answer is very simple. You continue to help your people till they get to stage 10. But the leaders really have said and have spoken, and we've listened, and they've asked for more levels. They want some extra levels in Crowd Rising, and we said, you know what? Let's do it. We met with the horsemen, we had a meeting, and we discussed it with various leaders. And just to let you folks know that we are opening up stage 11 to stage 15. Now what's going to happen here is these are Crowd Rising Bitcoin special stages. The only way to participate in stage 11 to 15 is going to be if you have a Bitcoin wallet set up. It's the only way. And there's going to be a bright message in your back office as soon as the final programming is done. It won't change the way for you guys. I mean, it won't change anything. For those that are not on stage 10, it doesn't change a thing. You just continue to do what you've always done. It's awesome. It's great. But you now have some higher targets to set your eye on. And we're going to open up stage 11 to stage 15. And it's going to be very simple. It's going to work the exact same way that the current system works. And we're going to go over that here in just a moment, so that if you're new here and not quite sure how it all works, you know it all starts with a $20 one time out of pocket to the person that invites you or the person that you spilled to. Very, very simple. We'll get into that in a moment. And I apologize to our guests that I'm getting into these housekeeping notes up front here, but want to get them out of the way so that everybody on the call here can get excited about this information and start sharing it with their networks, the people that they've introduced to Crowd Rising. Stage 11, again, the CR, standing for Crowd Rising Bitcoin Special. These are special step-ups, 11 to 15. Stage 11 will be $1,100 in Bitcoin donation. Stage 12 will be $1,200. Stage 13 will be $1,300. Stage 14 will be $1,400. Stage 15 will be $1,500. Very simple, very easy to remember. They'll increase in $100 increments each stage so that it won't get confusing. It'll be really easy, but you must have a Bitcoin wallet to participate on those higher stages. We'll have more details about that on the site. The slide will get updated in terms of how it works. You're still fine using the old slide. It won't really affect most people. Unless they're really ambitious and you're already getting close to stage 10, it won't change anything for you at all. It just gives you some higher targets to set your sights on so that eventually you can benefit from your 11th tier. So you'll have a bird's eye view in your back office. Right now it shows you 10 tiers. When the final addition, enhancements, programming is done here, you'll see 15 levels deep in your organization. You'll have a bird's eye view of what's going on. Now potentially, someone on your 11th tier, when they step up to stage 11, and providing you have a Bitcoin wallet set up, and a Bitcoin address set up, and again, on the topic of Bitcoin, I'm going to be doing some additional workshops in the Bitcoin arena very soon for those that want to learn a little bit more about Bitcoin technology and opening up your first wallet and setting up two-factor authorization and all that good stuff. We will have plenty of trainings on that topic. So don't feel like you're going to be left out or left behind, because that's not going to happen. As long as you're interacting with us and you're attending our webinars, we will personally help you. So stage 11, $1,100. You'll have your 11th tier. You'll see everyone in your 11th tier in your back office. Those participants, when they step up to stage 11, it's going to be a $1,100 donation. 12th tier, you'll see those people there, those participants there, it'll be a $1,200 donation. 13th tier, $1,300. 14th tier, $1,400. 15th tier, $1,500. Real simple math. Easy, easy, easy to remember the numbers as well. So what do you guys think? Pretty amazing, right? So the leaders have asked for it, and here it is. So next topic, let's go on and let's talk about a couple more housekeeping notes real quickly before I get into presentation. We've had some serious challenges with some of our participants in crowd rising, and there's not a lot of them. There's a few of them. There are some very strict policies in place with crowd rising, and I'm going to basically just take you right to our terms and conditions here, and we're going to just go and visit them real quickly. And we're going to go over some terminology as well. John Kasarab has done a great job at posting these messages in the Skype rooms. We're going to cover some of those terminologies, do's and don'ts when it comes to representing our community. What is the proper language to use? What words do you use? And John, with your permission, I'm going to share your screencast that you shared in the Skype room, just so that everyone can copy this URL, post it into a WordPad, somewhere where you don't lose it. You can refer back to it and really get familiar with the terms and the terminology that we use in crowd rising, because there's a lot of representation out there that's very inaccurate. When I go to Google and I do a search for crowd rising, I go to YouTube, and there's a ton of content out there, and finding a lot of information that's very, very inaccurate. And we're going to be contacting these people that are using inaccurate terminologies and asking them to kindly remove their videos and their pages, because they're not representing us very well. They're doing a great job trying to share the energy, but they're not using the proper language. And the language is very important to us. So we're going to have an additional webinar on that, where anyone interested on that topic, I will personally invite John Kasarab into that leadership webinar, and anybody can come. And we'll basically discuss these terminologies and do's and don'ts. Now, on the other topic, I want to talk a little bit about some of the unethical procedures that are going on inside of crowd rising when it comes to cross-recruiting, when it comes to spamming, when it comes to contacting people that you did personally not invite. Now, again, there's not a ton of this going on, but when it does happen and we get complaints, we have to act upon these complaints, and we act very swiftly. And one of the first things I want to share is that we've had a leader, one of our leaders, and a few other people that are, you know, I mean, they're well known in the community. They are doing some very unethical things that violate our terms and conditions, and I'm not here to point the finger at anyone. I'm here to share a message, and I'm here to say that this will not be tolerated. We're going to really, really enforce, and I'm going to reuse that word, enforce, basically what our terms and conditions say. So if our terms and conditions clearly mention do not cross-recruit, do not contact, email, spam, add to Skype, add to Facebook just to recruit for another opportunity, another program out there, you do not personally invite these people, you have no business contacting these people. And if you do this and you violate these terms that are clearly outlined in our terms and policies in crowd rising, we are going to basically block your account. We're going to lock your account, and then it's rests squarely on your shoulders to come to crowd rising and say, hey, you know what, I didn't, or I didn't. Well, we've got the proof in hand. We're not going to block your account unless we have the proof in hand, and we have to have proof from more than one person in the community that basically says I was contacted by someone who didn't sponsor me, who didn't bring me into crowd rising, who didn't invite me, and this person was trying to recruit me into another endeavor. That's an absolute 100% no-no. So I'm going to share my screen real quickly here, and we're going to visit the crowd rising terms and policies here together. Let me just go back to the thing here. Let me start the screen sharing here. You should be able to see my screen. Just going to share the screen here real quick. All right, here we are. Everybody sees my screen right now, right? So if you go to our website, and this is before you log in, and you click on terms. For those that don't know, the tutorials are here. There's a lot of information here. And I know many participants ask the question, where do we find these things? Well, before you log in, right there. Terms are right here. Now, if you read over our terms and conditions, and I'm not going to read them word for word for you, but they're all here, and they're very, very clearly outlined here in terms of what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, what you are agreeing to when you join crowd rising. Now, you must understand that we're doing this for the benefit of our community. We're doing this to keep our community clean, and to keep our community safe, and to keep the people that don't have a true vested interest in crowd rising, to keep them out, because we don't need them inside crowd rising. If they're not here to support, help, and grow this incredible member-to-member community, then they're doing harm to the community. They're not helping the community. So we're going to take swift action again in regards to that. So I want to make sure that everybody is on top of these terms and conditions and understands that if a participant contacts another participant that you did not personally invite and tries to recruit them for another endeavor, spams them for whatever opportunity they're wanting them to invite, it's a no-no. It's not allowed in crowd rising. You will find your account locked out. You will find yourself locked out of your account. So I just wanted to share that real quickly so that everyone understands that, and so you can share that message within your teams that, again, it will not be tolerated. So I'm just going to stop the screen sharing here, and we're going to get into a quick little presentation here for the sake of our guests. And again, for our guests that are here, I apologize for going into those housekeeping notes, but you know what? Sometimes you have to do these things. You know, I mean, we don't want to come across as dictators. We don't want to come across as someone who's bullying their participants. That's not our style. That's not us. But at the same time, we are going to keep a clean community, and we are going to enforce that. So I just want everyone to be very, very aware of that. So, all right, let's get started. Is everyone good with that? Everyone is cool with what I just shared in regards to our policy, in regards to not contacting someone that you did not personally invite into the community? An absolute no-no. All right, excellent. If everyone's good with that, then we can proceed and we can get into a little presentation here real quick. I'm going to just make it real quick here because we've got some great, great energy here today that we're going to be hearing from two very, very special people that are going to be sharing with us, and I'm just excited to hear their testimonial here this evening. So immediately following the presentation, we are going to hear from both Danielle from Tanzania and Hannes from South Africa, one of our awesome, awesome leaders. So here we are, crowd rising, peer-to-peer direct funding, time for the little guy to win. And ultimately, when you hear some of these testimonials, you hear some of these stories, you're going to realize that, you know what, this statement is so true. Time for the little guy to win. And there are people that are winning. I had an awesome conversation with another South African participant today. I hooked him up with Hannes out of South Africa on a 3-way call. And it's just incredible to see the energy. And this guy had invited so many people, the crowd rising, and just wanted help, wanted to know, what can I do and who can I reach out to if the person that invited me into crowd rising, if they're not that active and they don't know too much about the community, where do I go? Well, we have a tendency of really connecting people with our leaders in these geographic areas and just saying, hey, here's a great leader over here. I mean, maybe you can hook up with them and you can work together and maybe do some trainings, do some webinars together, some Skype calls, whatever the case may be. And you know what? It's positive, powerful energy when you do this. So again, I want to just congratulate all those out there that are just working crowd rising and sharing and inviting people, and the community is growing. You've noticed our Alexa ranking. We've been sharing it. The traffic is through the roof. We just fried our our VPS server. I mean, now we're on a dedicated server. Gerhard has been hard at work here over the course of the last couple of days, making sure the switch was just smooth and flawless. And we've got a powerful dedicated server now. So we'll see how long it takes us to burn this one up. So amazing things are happening here, folks. So $8,600 potential in 90 days. And that's what this is, potential, with the Crowd Rising Global Platform. It's based on a peer-to-peer direct funding. You're ultimately in control here. And that's the beautiful thing about Crowd Rising. Your whole back office, the My Money section, it's all your personal information, your PayPal, your Bitcoin, everything. You set up your back office yourself, and we're going to get into that in a minute, how that works. But the community here at Crowd Rising is ultimately for everyone, from all walks of life. It doesn't matter the color of your skin, it doesn't matter the education, it doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter how old you are, $20. And my gosh, folks, we spend this at a fast food restaurant in North America. When we go two people, and usually $20 doesn't even cover it, right? So $20 is not a big price point to come out of pocket and really get out there and start sharing Crowd Rising. And ultimately, after this, every step can be 100% self-funding. That is powerful. No one will ever say, hey, I lost my shirt in Crowd Rising. Never going to happen. If you follow the steps, the guidelines that we share in Crowd Rising, I mean, $20 out of pocket. If you don't get any spills, you don't invite anyone, well, you know what? It's a great learning curve, and maybe you'll learn something, and maybe the timing's not right for you to go invite someone. But when the timing is right for you, the very first participant that you bring into Crowd Rising, you get your $20 back. Now that is powerful. And then everything that happens after that can set up an avalanche of donations that come to you. So let's talk a little bit about how the platform works. How exactly does Crowd Rising work? Well, if you were invited into Crowd Rising, and let's use an example. Let's use a real person in the room here. I'm going to pick on someone here. I'm going to pick on Val from New Zealand. Okay, here's Val. Val comes into Crowd Rising, and Val is sponsored by Bob. Well, Bob may not even have sponsored her. Now let me correct myself here. Let me really help you understand this. See, we have a spill feature that's so cool. Susie could very well have sponsored Val. But you see, Bob was on Susie's row of 5. Bob was the weakest link, so to speak. Bob didn't have any referrals yet. So Susie, as she's inviting participants, she invites Val. Val spills under Bob. Two scenarios can happen here. You're either spilled under Bob, or you're personally invited by Bob. Now, when you're spilled, that means the person had their row of 5 full. If the row of 5 is full, because 5 is all you can have on your front line, the moment the 5 are occupied, you're going to go down into the next tier. As you can clearly see, this example, Susie inviting Val, it went into Susie's second tier. Bob was first tier, in the row of 5 in other words, and you, Val, fell on Susie's second tier. Now, it's the moment that Val donates $20 to Bob, she's still going to donate to Bob, regardless if Susie invited her. She fell in Bob's row of 5, and that's who the donation is going to go to. Now, what's powerful here is the moment Val has done this, it opens up her row of 5, and it gives her the ability to go to my promotion section in the Crowd Rising back office and get her referral link and start to share her referral link. And also, what's really, really important is that you go to the My Money section of your back office and you set up your payment details. I recommend a minimum of 5. Put PayPal, put Bitcoin, Solid Trust, Payza, Western Union, MoneyGram, your local bank, whatever you wish. Make sure it's entered so that when you invite someone into the community, that there's a payment option so that they can actually make a donation to you. And make sure you have more than one, because if you just put your PayPal email address back there and the person doesn't have PayPal, or they're in a country where they can't use PayPal, well, they're going to need another option, right? So you need to give them Western Union, MoneyGram, or Bitcoin. Bitcoin is preferable, folks. I mean, it's a universal currency. It's every country of the world. It's powerful. It's on the rise. And I really want to encourage all of our participants to get a Bitcoin address, get a Bitcoin wallet set up. It's easy, and enter it into your back office. and you'll get pretty excited when you receive your first Bitcoin transactions. Now here Val is. Val is starting to invite people. She brings the first one in, $20. She just broke even, right? Anything that comes in beyond the first one, well, this is a total 100% bonus for Val. And she's going to use these proceeds to step up to higher stages. Look at an example here. I'm going to stop at this one. Here Val's got 3 participants invited. And maybe one of them was spilled. Maybe Val invited 2 of these. And either way, Val has $60 in donations at this stage. Well, what should I do? Val asks. Well, the answer is simple. Step up to stage 2. The moment you have the necessary donations, if you received 3 donations, well, first of all, 20 was what you put in a pocket, right? The next 2 $20 donations, you now have enough to go to stage 2. So you want to take the $40 and step up to stage 2. And we're going to get into that slide in just a second here. So Val continues to share. Now she's got her 5 participants. The row of 5 is full, and she receives $100 in donation. If Val continues to invite people, this is what happens. It's incredible. She will have her row of 25 opened up to her, and it will automatically spill every participant down beneath. The person with the least amount of referrals will get the very first spill. It's very unique how the spill feature works in crowd rising. Now at this point here, Val would have donated $40 to Susie. She stepped up to stage 2. She wanted to make sure she was on stage 2 so that when these 25 participants here on her second tier, when they decide to step up to stage 2, Val is going to be the recipient of all of these 25 positions here when they step up to stage 2. Now let's be really clear. Let's use the example of the blonde girl. Val brings this lady in. She goes out and she starts sharing, crowd rising. She fills up her row of 5. She has her 5 filled up. One of them's a really, really hot shot. I mean, they're on the move. And they immediately go to stage 2. Val is the recipient of all of these people in this second tier when they step up to stage 2. Every one of them will go to Val. But Val has to be on stage 2. You see, if Val was not on stage 2, that payment or that donation would pass up. And I'm going to share with you how the pass up feature works here in Crowd Rising in a real quick second. All right, now as Val continues to work, she's very, very intelligent, and she very quickly realizes, I better get myself to stage 3 quick here because I've got a few hot shots coming underneath me. And she gets a bird's eye view of these people in her back office, and she can very clearly see that some of them are on stage 2 already. They could go to stage 3 anytime. And if she's not there, she will be passed up. And in this scenario, you see Val donated 20 to Bob, 40 to Susie, and now she donates $60 to Jim, which opens up tier 3. That's the row of 125. This is a 5 by, so it multiplies by 5 with every tier that you go down. So the tiers can get really big. But in this scenario, Val is now open to receiving $60 donations from that entire row of 125. Whether it's one participant down there or whether all 125 are there, all of them are going to donate stage 3 to Val. So that's a potential of 7,500 that comes in from tier 3. From tier 2, you have 25 positions there that are going to each be donating $40 to you. That's a potential of 1,000. And working this backwards from the beginning, $20. She donated to Bob. That opened up the row of 5, right? So you got $100 potential there. If you do the math, it's $8,600 right there. Potential that can go to Val just for bringing in her very first person, helping that person in, going and duplicating that process. And maybe she brought all 5 in. Maybe a couple of them were spilled. We don't promote spill. We don't say. We guarantee you'll get spill here at Crowd Rising. That's not terminology we use. If it happens, that's great. If the person above you is inviting more than 5, then awesome. You're going to get some spill. What I recommend you do is, if you're new and you're on the fence, give the person that invited you a call, a Skype message, a Facebook message, or the person that you spilled to, and just talk to them. Ask them, are you planning on bringing in more than 5 people and this and that? Not that I say you should be fishing for spills. That's not the message I'm trying to get across. The message that I'm trying to share is, be interactive with the people that you invite into the community. Be interactive with the people that have invited you to the community, so that you have a really good buddy system going here with the people that are above you and the people that are beneath you, so that you can really lock arms and work with these people and get the most out of your crowd rising experience. Now, the pass up, how does it work? Now, clearly, we have stages in crowd rising. Stage 1, all the way to 10, now with our new Bitcoin special stages, all the way to stage 15. So there's 15 stages in crowd rising. So you are going to have the potential to capture donations from participants 15 levels deep in your organization. Now, how powerful is that? Now, in this example, Val wants to go to stage 5. She's working. She's really working. She's sharing this, and she's got energy happening in her team. And the software looks, okay, Bob received her stage 1, Susie received stage 2, Jim received her stage 3, Betty received stage 4. Clearly, Betty's not on stage 4, so Betty better step up right there. Val will contact Betty and say, Betty, I want to go to stage 4. And Betty says, thanks for the heads up. And Betty gets herself on stage 4. Then Val donates stage 4, $100 to Betty. Now, in the event Betty does not communicate, there's a little button there that says proceed, and you can just proceed. The software looks upline. Who's the next participant in line to receive the stage 4? Well, in this example, it's Paul, right? You see Paul is stage 4. Software looked up. So Val will donate $100 to Paul, because Harry and Betty both got passed up because they were not on stage 4. But in this example, or this diagram here, Val's going to stage 5. Harry is the rightful recipient of the stage 5 donation. Clearly, Harry's on stage 3. Harry is out in Tanzania on vacation. He's not responding to nothing. Val's in a hurry. So 2 scenarios always unfold. You contact the person, what we always recommend you do, give them the heads up, let them know that you are giving them X amount of time to quickly get themselves on that stage that you wish to step up. If the person does not respond to you, now clearly you can contact them via Skype, Facebook, email, phone number, whatever they've shared on their public profile is visible to you. So you contact them, but since Harry's out in Tanzania on vacation, he is just not responding. So you automatically click that little proceed button, and the software starts to look up. Looks at Paul, nope, only on stage 4, can't receive a stage 5. Points up, finds Fred, right where the red star is. Fred, all right, Fred's been paying attention. Fred is now the recipient of a $200 donation via the pass-up. So Fred's pretty excited. Val's motivated because she's not held back now. She's able to receive stage 5 donations from her 5th tier in her genealogy. So very powerful how this feature works. There's some really good videos out there on that participants have done. Go to YouTube and just search them out. If you're not sure how this works, just watch a few videos and you'll understand this very quickly. Now, the funding potential portrayed in the following slides is not typical and not necessarily representative of the funding that will occur, if any, that a participant can or will receive through his or her participation in crowd rising. All references to funding potential implied or stated throughout this presentation are for illustrative purposes only. These figures should not be considered as guarantees, typical, or projections of your actual funding. Crowd rising per se does not guarantee any level of funding. No, nothing like that. They don't guarantee you anything. What you make of it is entirely up to you. This is a platform. This is not a business. This is not a company. This is not a corporation. This is a crowd sharing platform that's free to use, and you're agreeing to our terms and conditions and the policies that are in place to protect the community, to protect the participants, so that we can all be one happy family and just continue to move forward. And that's the aim and the goal of crowd rising. And again, I'm going to turn everyone back to the terms and conditions that are on the site so that you're very familiar with some of the policies that we have in place. Now, the crowd rising platform potential here, again, based on 5 who refer 5. Now, clearly, as we just mentioned today, we're going to be adding some additional stages. So these numbers are going to go through the roof here. But you know what? We don't want to sell a pie in the sky. We don't want to sell a get rich quick overnight. That's not what we do here in crowd rising. We keep it real. We don't rah-rah this. So the tiers here, I'm going to stick to the old tier here. Still 1 to 10. Clearly, we'll have 11 to 15 added shortly. It's not there yet, but it'll be there soon. Member potential, it's a 5 by. So every single tier multiplies by 5. 5, 25, 125, 625. And these are not splitting boards. These are not binaries. These are not some 2 by 2 splitting thing that you have to fill up and you don't get paid until this and that. None of that, guys. None of that. It doesn't. The only reason it even has a genealogy of this nature is to track the participants within the community and to make room for everyone. The donation amounts, 20, all the way to stage 10, 990. And again, as I mentioned earlier, stage 11, 1100, stage 12, 1200, 13, 1300, 14, 1400, and stage 15, 1500. So US dollar donations that are going to go to the recipient that is eligible for those donations according to your structure. Now, the potential here on the right, what I focus on, and what I really work hard at just talking to a brand new participant when I invite them, or a prospective participant, I focus on these numbers right here, the first 3 tiers. Let's focus on getting you the first 5 donations, $20 each, that's $100. Let's focus on helping those 5 each get 5. That's 25 participants down there, $40 donations each as they step up. It's $1,000 potential. And then let's work with your third tier here, the 125. And those are all $60 donations as they step up. They will come to you. That's 7,500 in potential donations. This is where our 8,600 number comes in, just from adding up the first 3 tiers. And the math was really simple. And I always repeat myself here, and I'm going to do it again.